Hello Taurus, welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. I'm about to do your reading for the week of February 27th through March 3rd. So lots of Mercury energy going on. I was talking to Moxie this morning, actually it was 2 days ago, about this restless energy that was going on astrologically. I'm always her barometer, so I hit with these feelings about a day or two, maybe even a week before. So for me, I feel Mercury well before it begins, and then I also feel it go away a little bit before everyone else sees it. So yesterday, I don't know about you, but we were looking at, let's see here. Last night we were discussing, where'd it go? Saturn square the moon. Holy shit. So Saturn square the moon was the involuntary shudder, so to speak. Ugh. Like, how do we deal with that? So it was restlessness, uncomfortable in your own skin, etc. But I was feeling all of that. So let's pull some cards for Taurus and see where you sit this week coming up for you guys. How are you? Where you are in the world? What's going on? I see four of you watching. If you're feeling any of that restlessness and that crazy, frustrated, feeling disconnected, but then not wanting to people. So let's take a look and see what's going on with Taurus for this week. Seven of Cups, World card, Nine of Wands, Page of Swords, and your intuition. So interesting for Taurus this upcoming week. It looks like you have the Seven of Cups, which is you're feeling like you've got all of your things in balance, paying attention to all the aspects of your life at once and taking a global look. You're also all about creating a foundation, which is the Nine of Wands. It feels to me like you're halfway there to all of your different structures and making sure that you have your foundation laid. We have the Page of Swords here too, which the Page of Swords, I always call that impulsive smart mouth. It's the one where, you know, when you have this attitude, this short temper, I call that my road rage card. It's kind of like feeling irritated for no reason. So it's demon a bro. Oh my God, yes. Last night I felt so uncomfortable and I didn't know why. Sorry about the name. My son changed it. I don't know how to change it back. I love it. Hi. But yeah, last night I finally put a Facebook post up. I'm like, all right, who's feeling frustrated? Cabin fever, restlessness, tight in your own skin, uncomfortable. I literally, Mercury retrograde, my ex called me and I was pissed at him and he said, I've been trying to get a hold of you for 2 months. I blocked him. I was pissed, rightfully so. However, I went for the kill. As soon as I talked to him, boom, I unloaded on him. So I will talk about more of that in the live question and answer session. I am going to do your Taurus reading though. But yeah, it was that Page of Swords, which is that restless, irritable energy. It was the playing with, you know, like I said, I went for the jugular. I was like, you know what? Here's why I'm mad at you, then that, the other. And I totally regurgitated all my emotions because I had very little self-control and did not even choose to go visit my sweetie because I was feeling so irritable. And just didn't want to put out the effort. So anyways, Page of Swords having to do with that irritated energy of, you know, that snappy road rage kind of feeling. But your High Priestess is kicking in for you too, which is telling us that Taurus is going to feel ridiculously intuitive right now. So Taurus is usually very practical, and right now you're feeling like your intuition is firing right and left. That's why I always say, demon saying, I did that too and lost someone important to me. And here's what's true. Mercury retrograde is the great leveler. It brings all of that information to the surface, brings all of those comments and those feelings up, and give it some time. We got another week or so of Mercury retrograde. See if you can't resolve that. Queen of Cups. So not only are you feeling your intuition on high alert, you do have the feeling of emotions coming up and coming to the surface. I do see the Knight of Coins. You might be finding yourself impulsive spending as well this week. Five of Wands, feeling backed in a corner. This is that pressure, feeling like you have to defend yourself. Somebody might not even be attacking you, but it's definitely going to feel as if you got yourself backed into a corner and feeling a little bit this and that, you know, like you're not quite sure how you want to respond with that. Under pressure as well, I'm seeing the Three of Wands and the Three of Swords. So if anybody so far, Taurus is going to be feeling the Mercury retrograde energy. That's my Three of Swords. That's miscommunication. Literally the definition of this card when I read the booklet when I first got it, which I'm going to do a little more of when I do my tarot instruction classes. But the Three of Swords is all about miscommunication if you don't, heartbreak is imminent if you don't communicate. But I'm seeing the Three of Wands that is like, totally feeling like people are watching you, totally feeling like your behavior is being scrutinized and picked apart. You do have the Ten of Coins, which is you're all about decision making right now, or maybe even contracts coming up. Eight of Cups, this is definitely one that you're not going to like. So each card, it doesn't have a negative or a positive aspect. It's definitely all about how it's showing up in your life. Now, I'm seeing the Eight of Cups. Here's what's interesting about the Eight of Cups for Taurus, and that is the Eight of Cups is things moving too quickly, especially in relationships and matters of the heart. If you notice, your reading is all about emotions right now. You got Queen of Cups, Eight of Cups, Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups talking about finding that perfect balance. It's about making sure all the elements, that it's that literal definition of work-life balance. You also have the Nine of Cups, so you're desperately in need of a play date. You desperately need to get out of the house and go do things. However, you're feeling watched and scrutinized and uncomfortable in your own skin. It would be like, let's say you go to a culturally different experience and you're like, I don't know what's going on with any of this. I don't want to be here. So it might just be, that you're feeling like everything is alien to you and you're feeling uncomfortable and kind of on the spot. That's just some little insecurity. You're moving from emotional outwardly expressing to emotional mastery within this week. You also have the Empress. I'm noticing 3 major cards within your reading, and then you had, I thought, an Ace. I'm not seeing it. Okay, so I'm seeing the High Priestess, the Empress card, and the World card. So how that all plays together. You're looking at a global view of things right now, external. However, you've got this deep feeling of wanting to nourish, nurture, and protect your home space, your life, your privacy, your space, etc. So as far as how that goes, it would just be wise to take a little extra time with your people. Just notice your emotions as they're coming up. My daughter says she likes to analyze her emotions before she responds, because having a life coach for a mom, we always say, well, where's that coming up in your life and what does that go back to and when did you tell yourself this? And she says, I always bring up these emotions and find out whether, if it's a negative emotion, and not all emotions are negative, but if you're feeling resistance on something, she goes back and back and back and back to try and find where the source is, where are my needs not getting met, to where I'm feeling that this is uncomfortable or that I'm irritated about that. So definitely take some extra time with your emotions, take some extra time with your people, and be sure to go easy, go gentle, go slow, because perception is projection. So as you're feeling this Three of Wands, and then the Five of Wands backed into a corner and feeling like everything's an attack is perception. So make sure you're not projecting that onto your partners in your life. And, most people aren't trying to attack, they're just trying to get through the day. So let's pull some cards for you from your Mystic Dreamer and see if your emotions are lining up with your reading, because it looks to me like your emotions are a huge play in your life right now. So this is your moon reading. So this is Taurus moon, your emotions, how you're thinking, how you're feeling. The Dragon Tarot is your sun reading for Taurus. So let's take a look and see your rising, but this is your moon card. All right, here we go. Yep, Four of Pentacles. So here's what's interesting. Four of Pentacles usually is my cheating card. Now it's obvious that I can't do a reading on everybody that's got relationship dynamics that are different, because your sun, moon, rising, and then your partner, sun, moon, rising can all be different, but the whole demographic of Taurus is not going through someone who's cheating on them. If you want a one-on-one with me to pick your relationship dynamics open and apart and take a look at it, let me know, karmaondeck.com. However, the Four of Pentacles is saying that right now your needs aren't getting met. You feel as if you haven't spoken to it and that you aren't getting your needs met, and so therefore you're feeling a little cheated. You're having a tendency to hide your emotions right now. So what's happening is your Five of Swords is sneaky. So be careful how you're going about getting your needs met. If you're playing passive aggressive, or if you're doing a little bit of narcissistic twists where it's all about you or all about them, just be careful, because you also have the paranoid card. Like, you're definitely looking at things a little bit with the squinty eye, a little frustrated, and you're starting to have a little fear mentality. Scarcity mentality is fear mentality. Three of Wands, you're waiting for someone else to make the change. I also see the Temperance card, which is all about balance. Three of Wands, you watching, waiting to see what's going to happen. Seven of Swords. So here's the thing. You're going around the back way instead of just being forward with what it is that you want. Taurus has a tendency to, in this upcoming week, I feel like you're going to avoid difficult conversations. Right here you have the Seven of Cups. Seven's a big number for you guys right now. So Seven of Cups, which is all about overwhelm, regret, having too much on your plate. We have the Ten of Cups. Taurus right now is all about being in that don't let anybody know that this house isn't perfect kind of thing. You don't want to air your dirty laundry. You don't want your business in the streets. You definitely don't want exposure to what's going on with you. So you're kind of going around the bend and being sneaky. And what I mean by that is, however you're manipulating the situation to get your needs met, you need to be clearer about that, because it's causing miscommunication. Don't say one thing and mean another. Ace of Wands is showing up too. You're being very decisive, but it's all emotion based. You have the Five of Pentacles. Don't lose hope. It is a frustrating period with with Mercury retrograde going on. So you're getting a little frustrated. Some of you out there are wanting to quit. We have the Page of Cups. You'd rather start over. I don't know. It sounds like my laundry. I'd rather throw the shit away than fucking fold it. I get frustrated with laundry easily, so it feels almost as if you're saying throw the whole man away. But we're not doing that. You're definitely going to stick with what's going on. You're not going to change anything at this time. It's all kind of moving forward as it's already been put into play. But you're definitely frustrated. You're definitely looking for the easy way, because things have been difficult and awkward, and you don't like being awkward. You don't like being out of control. But we do have the King of Wands, so you can direct these things easier than you think. King of Cups is all about you having emotional mastery. But balance is the key here. Balance is the card that's coming out and letting us know that you're going to be having that little motion to where things are going to even out. You're definitely concerned about building a legacy. You don't want to build with people who aren't throwing in their weight as well. And so you're looking at the fine print, so to speak. Again, you have the Page of Pentacles. Be cautious with your money. I don't know if you feel as if you want to spend money to soothe the ego right now, but I am seeing impulsive behavior and impulsive spending. So be careful with that. Nothing really dramatic is coming your way. We don't see Tower, Devil, Death. We have Temperance, but we don't have Justice or the card that tells us that things are coming to huge cataclysmic events. This is just some emotional roller coaster for you right now. I am going to pull a card from my Divination of the Ancients to take a look and see what the extra message is from this deck. And then we will wrap up and I will go ahead and move on to the next one. So let's see here. Psychometry, sensitivity. So as we're looking, sensitivity, psychometry is like touch. Interestingly enough, are you getting enough touch in your life? Are you what is the percentage of communication that happens non-verbal? It's huge. But it's also saying here, the book is telling us that sensitivity is increasing at this time. You may find what excited you no longer appeals. That goes back to what we talked about in the beginning of the reading, to where you're feeling restless, cabin fever, nothing satisfying you, and maybe you're looking for outward sources to make that happen. And it says, what you once excited you no longer appeals, and you're leaving behind certain friends and pastimes as you continue to walk your spiritual path. You may also find yourself being extra sensitive. That was a cute stutter. So she said, I was about to go blow my depression money, so I guess not. No, I deliberately set myself up for these moments by buying things that can keep me occupied when I need to do something and I'm feeling frustrated. I literally bake bread. I bought the stuff to do pour painting, which I posted on here. I started writing again. I have a book that I want to study. So whenever I get frustrated, I pick one of those activities so that I don't go back to some of those old habits and behaviors. When I was in Vegas, I would just pop out in the middle of the night when I was feeling restless, go have a few drinks, gamble a couple $40, $100 or whatever. And so I started to change my behavior so that I had something a little more productive to speak for it when the day is done. Also bought me some bath bombs and little facial stuff, just activities that I already have in play, so that when I get bummed out or feeling weird, I do something literally that I can look back on and say, yeah, I was in a shitty mood, but I did this, I painted, I did that, I took a hot bath and did a facial, I baked some bread that I now share with my neighbors. I started to set myself up, so when I felt myself slipping, I would have something in play. But anyways, it's also saying that you might find your sensitivity heightened, like for example, when you go into a mall or a busy place. So your tolerance level for social activities isn't quite the same as it had been, and you're just a little extra sensitive. So on that note, thank you for hanging out with me. I am going to pop back on right after this because I do have 2 more to do. I have Gemini and Cancer to wrap up for today. So if you want to hang out with me, and see those videos, I might be going live right after that too. So thank you for joining me. I'm Karma. This is Karma on Deck. If you want a one-on-one, you know where to find me. You can donate to my PayPal, Karma on Deck. If you want to book your one-on-one, I would do that now. It's filling up for the evening. Meanwhile, catch me on the flip side. Thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.